Welcome everyone. My name's Alexis
And I'm Maya.
and my mom's in the corner.
Hey, Mom.
I'm a licensed tattoo artist here in Portland, Oregon, and Maya is my best friend, and she works with children that have some delays. Is that correct?
Yeah, special needs.
Special needs in another state, and we're just two friends chit chatting about random things and what we do. And today we're going to talk about what exactly is scalp micropigmentation.
Yeah, I am so proud of you and how far you've come. And I want to know a little bit more about this new venture. I want to know about the procedures and steps. So, first off, what is scalp micropigmentation?
So, scalp micropigmentation is also something people refer to as a hair tattoo. So, basically, for people who have thinning hair or no hair at all, I go in and create the look of micro hair follicles to make it appear as though you have a hairline or your hair is thicker if it's really sparse and you can see through to your scalp.
Okay, so it really wouldn't lengthen anyone's hair. It just gives it's more so for a balding patch or an empty patch on the scalp.
Yeah, so it's not a hair transplant, it's not an extension or any sort of fake hair fiber onto your scalp. It's an actual tattoo that is implanted into your scalp right below the epidermis and into the top layer of the dermis layer of your skin. And it's
Mhm. That's
virtually
tattoo.
something that you can use to make your hair appear thicker or make it appear like you have a buzz cut or a fade sort of
Oh,
hairstyle.
and does this come in? I mean, obviously, one with brown hair or blonde hair, or does it? Are there different colors, or are you limited to
Mhm.
black or dark brown?
Yeah, so if you think about it, if you were looking at someone's head, you will never see a white hair follicle or a red hair follicle. All hair follicles are almost black. So
Oh,
basically, it depends on your skin color, how the pigment will be mixed. So let's
mm-hmm.
say if you are someone who is on the Fitzpatrick one, which is the lighter end of skin color, like a very pale person,
Mm-hmm.
then your hair color follicle, I'm going to put in more of a water solution so that it's kind of faded out and not as dark compared to someone who's like a Fitzpatrick 5, which is the latter end of the skin color spectrum, where I wouldn't wash out that color as much because we want it to look as real as possible. I wouldn't
Got it.
put something a jet black follicle on someone whose skin is extremely snow white.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is 2020. Are you against doing something radical like a purple or a green, or is that not even? That's not
I
even.
mean, you're free to do what you like.
But is that available?
Oh, of course. I mean, tattoo ink is available everywhere,
Oh,
so anything can be implanted in the skin. I mean, it's a tattoo. I
okay.
mean, if that, I mean, it's your
That's a
life.
professional term, though.
You're gonna have to sign something
Okay.
saying, I'm not gonna be responsible 20 years from
Right.
now. And you're like, what the heck's going on
Right.
here? I'm like, that's what you wanted, man.
Well, 20 years from now, so that sounds kind of permanent. So is this something that is permanent?
Yes, it is permanent. So it can last 5 to 7 years for the most part. It really depends on the person's metabolism and how they'll break down pigment, but it can last 5 to 7 years before you'll need maintenance or even longer. Some people are out in the sun surfing or doing whatever outdoors, and the sun can fade, or you'll have
Oh,
some people with using hair products or scalp products that have alcohol in it that can also fade your pigment prematurely. So you want to make sure when you do get scalp micropigmentation that you're taking care of it and you're not putting any products or exposing it to extreme sunlight that's going to fade it out sooner than you could have this on your head.
so if I come to you for scalp micropigmentation services and in 5 years I just need maintenance, I don't need a whole redo. Is that something that's at like a lower cost because it's just for upkeep?
I myself, of course, you would come and I need to evaluate it because if you're like, out there gunning it in the sun, doing whatever, you might have to have a whole head again, depending on how much coverage you need. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit up there and charge you like you came in for the first time. That's for me. It depends on the person. But as for me in my practice, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I've noticed with some things, like say, you buy a piece of jewelry, if you come in every so often to, for maintenance, then you sort of, I don't want to say the word warranty, but if you're the one that initiated the procedure, you would want that customer to feel comfortable being able to come to you, hey,
Yeah.
with concerns, questions. So I was going to ask about people with things like psoriasis and eczema. Is
Hmm.
this something that is impossible for somebody who has something like that on their scalp?
That's actually prohibited for me to tattoo on any sort of skin condition. The area I tattoo on needs to be free of any kind of skin diseases. And
Okay.
also, if your skin's flaking off from eczema, then the pigment's not going to be able to stay in your skin because it's
Whoa.
flaking off. So it's not going to be able to sit in there if it's constantly flaking off.
That's interesting, and that makes sense. So prime clients would be somebody with like alopecia who doesn't have necessarily a skin condition, but
Hmm.
it's just hair loss.
Yeah, that's a perfect candidate for scalp micropigmentation. Um, Men or women who who have those bald patches from having an alopecia outbreak, we can fill those in, and then you won't have to worry about them as much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I was wondering about. I mean, can we talk about cost or?
Well, the average procedure is between $2,000 and $4,500. Of course, you do need to come in for a consultation because hair loss it's like a snowflake. Everybody's different. So I can't just say, yeah, it's going to cost this much. I need to look at your head to determine how long it's going to take. Some people might have skin that doesn't really take to the procedure right away. So you might have to come back a few times. It could be skin that has been scarred from maybe getting a hair transplant. And then that sort of skin is kind of dense and fibrous. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the pigment to settle in and
Well,
stay.
those are the types of things. That's actually the next question I was going to ask you was what types of things do you go off of, and it sounds like you're looking more so at the skin, the condition of the skin. I thought you were going to base it off of somebody who had like, a bigger size head.
Oh,
Like, if you go in for braids.
I
No,
wouldn't do
honestly.
that.
No, but honestly, like for somebody who's
Yeah.
going to go in for some braids, this person's like, oh, you have a big head. You have a big head. You have to
Look,
be a little bit
I have a big head.
that's something that I would be worried about is am I going to get charged more? So
I
that's
have a
good
big
to hear.
head. I don't discriminate in big heads. I have a big head.
Okay, all right. That's good to know. Good to know. What about children? Do you recommend it for children?
So for children, you do have to have a doctor's note here in Oregon because that's where I'm located in Portland, Oregon. And it's mostly for kids who have medical conditions, maybe from cancer or alopecia. But yes, they need a doctor's note. Anyone under the age of 18 needs a doctor's note to have a tattoo here in Oregon.
Gotcha. So this one's a little bit more personal, I guess, but what made you want to get into scalp micropigmentation?
You
That's
know,
kind of
yeah.
specific.
Well, for years, I've been treating my own as well as family members' heads, including my mother. And, I was researching and I came across scalp micropigmentation and I thought, oh my goodness, that's really cool. And I was fixated on it for weeks, and then I contacted my teacher, and she had me come in for a job shadow. And she actually did a head. The client agreed and let me watch. And when he was done, I had to get tissue. I was in tears. The man was so touched and happy. He was in his early 20s and he was talking about, how he was getting teased and said he looked like he was an 80-year-old man when he bent over. And like I kind of I felt I felt his pain, like, because I know what it's like, as far as with weight and then also my own thinning hair on top, how it feels to have somebody talk about you. And like when he was done, like he all the confidence came back to him and he was just so grateful. And I was like, this is what I want to do. Like this is what it's all about. Like I've been in like the healthcare field for over 20 years, but nothing made me feel as good as seeing that man walk away. So yeah.
Wow, that is very touching, and yeah, that's amazing to have that type of response and reaction to something and say, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of people feeling happy like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, what is it for? Like, if I'm going to work, I want it to be to help people make them feel good. You know what I mean? Like, I want to help people feel good, and that's always what I wanted to do. And when I found this, I'm like, oh my god, I found something that came between healthcare and then art, and then people walking away feeling good. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
this is perfect.
And that really, for me, knowing you as long as I have, that really suits your personality to go through the effort, the time, the steps, just to benefit other people. That pretty much defines who you are.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I wanted to know.
You would have saw my face on camera right now. You were like,
I wanted to know. What was I gonna say? I think I lost it. I didn't lose it. Did
sorry.
I wanted to know. We talked about cost. Well, I'll have to try to remember what it was. But in the meantime, I wanted to try to find out how long the process takes. So I know it probably depends on what's it like. If somebody were to kind of like a ballpark, if somebody were to ask how long the procedure takes.
So on average, you will need 2 to 3, sometimes 4, but on average 2 to 3, and you need at least 3 sessions. So you'll have your initial session, and then I'll go in conservatively. You'll come back again a week later, and I'll fill it in with another layer. And then you'll come back another week later, and we'll see how it looks. If you need more, I'll give you more.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Kind of like a tattoo, yeah. And that's how.
Yeah. So the goal is to go in conservatively because I don't want to just go in and black out your head because I don't know how that's going to heal. You could come back a week from now and all that's gone, or you know what I mean? Like, so it's conservative, a little bit at a time, and that's what makes the most natural and best look.
Have you had any experience with what it feels like? Does it hurt?
I have had it on top of my head, and I think it feels great. It's really relaxing to me, and I actually am getting excited. I might want it right now. It feels good to me. Everyone I've had.
I have a tattoo on my arm, and that hurt. I mean, it was not comfortable.
Well, I felt a tattoo because I had the scar camouflage on my legs without any numbing cream, and that compared to the scalp were 2 different things. Especially because like where I had my scalp micropigmentation, it wasn't all that those nerve endings, and you're not going down that deep into the skin anyway.
Yeah.
So it just feels really good to me.
So, yeah. Well, you're the expert, so that's good.
Well, everyone I've had in my chair has fallen asleep, and they have liked it as well. So I'll say that.
Perfect. So, do you know how long this has been around? Because I know, you know what I mean? Like, has it been around since the 80s? It's not something new. It's been around for a while, hasn't it?
Well, in America, it's probably been around for a good 8 years, but it's been in the UK. Yeah, it's been in the UK. It's starting to be known. It's starting to be something that people are becoming aware of, and even more so in Portland. It's people aren't that aware of it, and they're just now become aware of this.
What? I hadn't heard. I mean, you hear about these creams, these topical solutions and things, but this is the first time I've heard it explained to me, and so I thought this can't be. This has been around, but I guess not.
Yeah, the U.S. not as long as the U.K. The U.K. has been doing this for quite a while now, so yeah, we are just now coming to have, and it's a great alternative. Like seriously, who wants to pay all this money for some topic or painting? Did you painting stuff on your scalp when you can wake up and not have to worry about that mess or have to take the time to fill in those parts when you can just get up and go. You know what I mean? So it's awesome.
So the benefits are evident, and we talked about some of the risks with people who already have conditions with their skin, but are there any other risks that kind of like drew your attention, or is it kind of a low risk procedure in general?
So it is, tattoo is an invasive procedure altogether, but this is pretty low invasive. I mean, there's not going to be pools of blood. At least there shouldn't be. There's never been in my chair. You should never see pools of blood because you're not going down that deep. You might
Okay.
see a couple of doctors or two, but really, it's nothing to be concerned about. I mean, you're sitting in a chair. I'm going in. It's the most relaxing procedure you might have in your lifetime, to be honest.
And it sounds like the results put smiles on people's faces, build
Yes.
so much confidence,
Oh,
and
yes.
change lives in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Families, loved ones, and just make people
They
feel
get
good
their
about
confidence
themselves.
back. Yep,
Yeah,
definitely get their confidence back.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's great.
Yeah, because I know have had people who come in and they're like, when the wind blows and their hair's flipping, like you can see these
Oh my
gaping
gosh.
bald
Yeah,
spots.
the toupees, like, I don't know. They need
Well,
to just,
yeah, then you like got to worry about buying the toupees all the time, and then that glue on your scalp, is basically masticating your scalp. It's all mush. So you
yeah.
don't, yeah, you want a healthy scalp. So
So
yeah,
people who get this, I know other, I guess, I was going to say it might be a dumb question, but I don't think so. But anyway, so you don't have to do anything crazy like wear a shower cap, or like you can live a normal life. You don't have to.
yeah.
Okay.
You can live a
I mean,
normal life, like I said before, just beware of the things you put on there and how much sun exposure because you don't want to fade it too soon unless you want to, come back sooner for maintenance. But yeah, you can live a normal life.
yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
you're kind of pretty, so people probably be trying to fade it so they can come back and see you again. But
Oh, oh,
but
shush.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have any more questions. I mean, I felt like I had a whole bunch to ask. I feel like I'm going to continue learning with you as you go. I mean, there's a website that you're going to have all the information on that people can pretty much get
Yeah.
a good idea before they call
Yeah.
you. And so the consultations are free.
Consultations are always free. They're always complimentary free. My website is complexiontattoo.com, and I'll have that below. And the Instagram, you can do Pound the Density Queen. And I'm on Facebook also. You can look for Pound the Density Queen.
All right. Well, I know that you are just great all around and taking this very seriously and making your customers feel comfortable. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of your befores and afters and just all that good stuff.
Thank you, Maya. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for taking the time to ask these questions.
Absolutely, no problem.
Any
Thanks for
questions,
having
Mama? Any questions, Mama?
No questions.
Okay. I'll see you guys again. And again, this is Let's Talk with Alexis and Maya, and we're always talking.
All
Bye.
right.